Salaam Alaikum. Peace and blessings, my sisters and brothers. Um, Welcome to 2020. I know the year 2020 has been very crazy, and I haven't shot a video in 2020, so this is my first video in 2020. So, without further ado, let's just get straight into it. And I know everybody's freaking out right now. I figure it's best for me to come out right now and just say hello to the community and see how the community is doing. Um, because right now, the not just the USA, but wherever you may be, a lot of people is in a state of panic because of the coronavirus and the effects that it's having on everybody's community, everybody's country, everybody's state, city, and so forth. And a lot of people is panicking. A lot of people is losing their jobs. A lot of people is getting um, losing money. Either if they're not losing their job altogether, they're either cutting back hours or their pay is being reduced. I know people that went from salary paychecks to hourly paychecks. I know people that used to work, full time that's now working part time. I know some people is now um, um, furloughed and they're no longer working, but still connected to the company. So when things get back to normal, they'll still be able to have a job. But the thing is, when is normal coming? So it's a lot of chaos going on right now, and with all this chaos, people is forgetting um, who's in control of all of this. Okay, except the believers. Except the believers in la ilaha illallah. Um, so this message is for the believers that no matter what happens, whether it's good times or bad times, we always believe in God is in control of everything. As a matter of fact, there's verses that I want you to take a look at, and this is what I'm here to talk to you about. And I know I sound like I'm rambling. This is not rehearsed. This is not normally when I come up with the videos, and if it sounds like very constructed, it's because I write a little outline and saying I'm going to talk about this, then I'm going to talk about that, then I'm going to talk about that, then I'm going to talk about that. There's no structure for this. So this is just strictly off the head. This is probably my first and only take. Um, so let's just talk about it. The only thing I want to talk about is that God is in control. Allah is in control of this. He said nothing comes to us. Nothing happens in this world that is already written. So you won't panic over it, and so you won't get too excited over it. So he doesn't want you to freak out. Okay, and you can see those verses right here. And so with that being said, and there's a few verses I'm going to talk about, and just to show you where we are and how we can emerge out of this chaos. Yes, it's a virus going on. Didn't Allah talked about it in his book how he released plague to people to certain groups of people, whether it be a country, a community, a ummah, whatever the case may be, um, to basically to correct them of their errors, because more than likely they were spreading corruption. And if you're probably saying, well, who was spreading corruption this time? This is affecting the whole world, not just the USA, not just China, not just Italy, but it's affecting Africa, it's affecting the UK, it's affecting Switzerland, it's affecting everybody worldwide. Well, guess what? I feel protected. And I don't know if you feel like I feel, but I feel protected. I always feel protected with Allah. When things is going on, I've witnessed in my life, and maybe you've witnessed in your life Allah's protection. You witness how things have happened around you that could have happened to you but didn't. I felt like that plenty of times years ago, even small incidents. Because Allah is in everything, because He's showing you signs and everything. And I've always felt protected, and I continue to feel protected today. Now, just because you feel protected, and yes, you are protected by Allah's covenant, Allah's protection, who is excellent as a protector and excellent as a helper, um, doesn't mean that you don't have to take your own precaution. You see what I'm saying? Still take your own precautions. So if requiring you to wear a face mask, wear a face mask. The face mask that's created is part of Allah's protection, if that's needed. Don't think that you're too cool to walk around with a face mask. Mine is actually being shipped to me right now as we speak. And I have no problem walking around with a face mask because I understand that Allah provides protection. Now, if you think about it in the, let's go to the Quran. I'm going to go straight to the Quran to prove every point that I make. Allah made the blessed David with the power of the, you know, in charge of metals and stuff. I can't think of this exact information, but basically he blessed David, peace and blessings upon him, with the, you know, how to break down metal and craft it into whatever, because it was used for protection in war. Okay, so even though David, who's a prophet, Allah made him so he's able to craft this metal into metal suits and armor for protection against war. Now that's showing you that even though Allah's providing you with protection with His angels and whatever we cannot see, okay, He's also going to provide you with physical protection. You see what I'm saying? He's going to provide you with physical protection as well. Use that physical protection. You don't see the firemen walking into a house of fire without their protection, their physical protection. So they have physical protection, then they have the spiritual protection that comes from Allah. Now you hear many Muslims, well, I don't have to worry about anything. I'm protected by Allah. Well, yeah, just many believers in God that just saying about that. They're saying stuff like that. I don't have to worry about anything. I'm going to go about my day, and I don't have to worry about anything because I'm protected by God. Okay, cool. You're not using God's protection that He provides you with, especially if you have readily access to it. I want you to understand that. Like I said, you do not see a fireman walking into a house of burning fire without his equipment on and his water hose. Okay, he's protected physically because he has a mission to do, a job to do. So he's protected physically and he's protected spiritually, those who are believers with the law. Okay, so if it requires for you to walk around with the mask, if it requires for you to walk around with gloves, I walk around with gloves. That is part of Allah's protection. Okay, what you can protect on your own self physically, do that. And Allah's going to handle the rest. But don't just walk around unprotected, going about your day as normal when you're not in a normal environment. I want you to understand that. You have to be, in order to do your normal things, the environment has to be normal. If the environment is not normal, then you can't act normal. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand the environment that you're in. If you're in an environment where right now every country is calling a state of emergency and so forth, you got to act as if it's an emergency, okay? If businesses are shut down, why are you still trying to hold up your restaurant? I understand you got bills to pay, but you got to consider things. So I'm just giving you some words of wisdom here. But also another thing I wanted to talk about is that we're going to be in this state of chaos, whatever you want to call it, caution, chaos, for a while. And this is my personal opinion. I think it's going to be months. And the reason being is there's currently no cure. And it's going to be like this for months. So basically the whole 2020. So a positive way, optimistic way of looking at this is Allah's going to create new leaders out of this. Who's going to be these new leaders? I don't know. It could be you. Well, guess what? I want one of those new leaders to be me. I'm not going to trip. Because right now, where is the true believers' new leaders? Okay? So, won't you position yourself, which is right now, to be one of the new leaders that will emerge out of this? And maybe your gift, your talent, whatever you have, can emerge the believers out of this darkness, because some of these believers don't have this faith that I'm talking about. They don't have this strong belief in Allah. They believe in Allah, but they're still relying on man to save them out of this chaos, and they're not looking at it from a higher point of view. Okay, because this corruption is spread. This virus that's spreading, okay, it's doing what it needs to do. It's affecting certain people because maybe those people need to be infected. Okay, good or bad, okay? Maybe it's to put some of the good people in check, like, okay, you wasn't paying me too much attention. Let me wake you up for a minute. And for those bad people, it's putting them to rest or wherever they need to be. So it's a wake-up call, however you look at it, okay? But new leaders need to emerge. Okay, these leaders, because Allah says what? He's going to make us successors in the land, okay? And make us feel secure and make us successors, okay? Just want you to think about that. So, don't panic. But think of yourself as maybe I can be one of these successors, these leaders. And you're probably saying, well, how can I position myself to be a leader, to be a successor, to emerge through these challenging times? Do what you do, but now, for instance, if you're locked in your house, you stand at home, it's time for you to get to work on whatever it is you whatever your craft is. Or you need to partner with somebody that has something for you to do that you can do at home. But you are meant to be leaders, okay? So let's go ahead and make this community strong. Okay, make it stronger than before. And I still need y'all emails, okay? And y'all testimonials of um why you became Hadith free and all that stuff. You know, I've gotten very little response. I gave you all my email. I don't know, maybe you're not good in writing, so maybe you can tell it to me verbally. You don't have to be good in writing. All you have to do is just tell me your story. I'll craft it. I'll put the I'll put the proper grammar to use and write it on paper. I just need your testimonial. This is part of one of the emerging leaders because everybody's going to be a part of this book. And if you're a part of this book, how lovely would that be? Your testimonial of why you became Hadith free could actually help somebody else see the light, see the truth. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about. I told you I'm just rambling on here, but this was something that needed to be done. So anyway, I look like my camera is dying. I'm going to put these verses up here, but just remember, everything that's already happened is supposed to happen. Okay, so do not panic. It's already written. So what's the next chapter that's written after this? Maybe the next chapter can be you're the leader that's supposed to merge out of this, because all the companies are failing. All the companies are like crumbling right now. All the major companies. So while they're crumbling, new leaders is going to emerge. Maybe that can be you. Anyway, thanks for your time. As always, Assalamu Alaikum. Peace.